I hear him say different things like that and do different things, it's basically giving away to where he's doing everything in his power to say whatever he needs to say to make them look good, only because he's getting paid.
It just so happens to be on there. I think even a fingernail file is on there. The knife was so small, it did not penetrate his heart. It was too small. It was a little small knife. They're not telling
What?
me this.
This fool is crazy as fuck. It didn't penetrate his heart. The man, then he wouldn't have died. He wouldn't have bled out and died within, like, what was it, 30 minutes, something like that, before the EMTs could get there.
And they tricked me, and they had me going against a good kid.
I'm trying to figure out how it didn't do. These are lies though, y'all.
Kid, so
Didn't
I'm
penetrate,
up about
but
this. My white Republican friends. I'm up. This is what the Democrats did to the police with the rappers and the. Come on, y'all are doing to. Come on, you're gonna do what the Democrats are doing to the blacks. Just give us the truth. We're smart enough conservative. And by the way, my voting record is all conservative. Mike Wallace, you name it. Mona Bailey, me and Mona Bailey. Shelley Pritchard, Jen Hall, I know all of them. Tarrant County GOP Republican Party, I know all of them. All of them. Sarah, I'm in the loop. I mean, I know about you too. Meth, I'm in the loop. So listen to me.
Now let's get to the bottom of it all. Let's get to the nitty gritty. First and foremost, it does not matter if the Metcalf brothers were bullies. Being a bully don't matter. Charleston White in the video says that he didn't even know them experience with them being bullies. So exactly. in a premeditated state, is no way that he can premeditate that somehow they're going to attack him because he don't even know these kids. Now, you can say he heard around the block that they were bullies, but it does not matter if you're a bully, if you hear they're bullies.
Yeah, you can't just attack somebody because they walk up.
What their actions are and what your defense to their actions is the only thing that matters in a court of law. So you have a kid, even if it's a utility tool that you can flip around like this, somehow he got the knife out and stabbed somebody with the knife. He didn't pick the fingernail clippers. He didn't pick the fingernail file. He didn't pick the scissors. He didn't pick, I don't know, the flathead, the Phillip. He didn't pick none of that. He picked the knife that he then stabbed the kid in the chest. Then what did he say documented on the court document, on the police report, is that he said, touch me and see what happens. So therefore, he knows he has this object in his bag. He said, touch me and see what happens. He removes the object, stabs the kid in the chest with enough force and enough depth that it him almost instantly. He didn't die at the hospital, y'all. He died in his brother's arms on at the track meet.
And they
may have pronounced him at another time. He was dead at the track meet. His brother saw his.
That's what I just said. He definitely stabbed me, even if it was a pocket knife. Like, that's a big enough blade, to penetrate your heart, especially with enough force.
He can go dead. So to make
he literally said, his dad said it, and others, that he watched his brother take his last breath. They literally said that. So for Charleston White to go in there and lie, it's absolutely insane.
These claims is foolish. To say that the girl Sarah Fields, which shout out to Sarah Fields, I looked at her social media and she's all over this story, promoting facts and pointing out how, Charleston White is a complete nut. But you can't say that, this person is revealing their address and they doing this and that. You have no evidence of that. And I hope that somebody sue you if you're out here lying about somebody and don't have no evidence. Let me just say this. It's very difficult in the state of Texas to indict a minor and try him as an adult unless you have unequivocal evidence that's pretty strong that will get you an indictment. And let me explain real quick. There has to be a substantial amount of information for them to present this to a grand jury dealing with a kid that was 17. They didn't just charge him with manslaughter. They charged him with first degree. That means that you have to show an element of premeditated. And from all accounts that we see, even the video that reporters are talking about, that people can go and watch, at least the people in the media can go and watch, there's no indication that there was an altercation before the stabbing occurred. It's not like he was getting jumped.
Yeah.
You being in a place that you're not supposed to be in and people telling you to leave the place don't give you the right to claim that you are afraid enough to stab somebody in the heart who did not use any serious bodily, serious force against you that would make you believe that you could.
To my knowledge, like, was Carmelo even touched? Like, I don't think he was hit. He had any bruises. Nothing had even happened to him. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what the case is.
Experience serious bodily injury or death. These Austin Metcalf kids, that kid wasn't that big. I've seen pictures of these kids. They ain't that big. Yeah. Come on, bro. It ain't like they 6'6", 6'8", 6'5", 300 pounds. I think Austin Metcalf was like a linebacker. He was in an athletic position. He's not a lineman. And even if he was, you have to show that you have fear of serious bodily injury or death in order for you to use deadly force against somebody. And it also has to be within.
Hold on, I thought they was boy, came up on it. One on this side. Stabbed Cracker in the heart. Should have stabbed them both. That's what Charleston White said. Stupid fuck.
In self-defense, you cannot provoke a situation and then claim self-defense. So Charleston, that he don't understand that he's just hearing a narrative from Karmelo Anthony's family. Of course, they're going to have a narrative because they want their son not to do the rest of his life in prison.
Exactly.
But you've got to juxtapose the narrative to what the police report.
I feel like that's like the realest thing, though. That's real.
Reality. You can't just believe what Austin Metcalf's family was saying. You can't believe what Karmelo Anthony's family was saying. You can only rely on what the evidence that has been presented and the evidence that we have.
But I feel like him being like that person in Texas, like Charleston White, obviously he's in Texas, and I feel like being in Texas and being like, I don't know, like a well-known person in Texas, they did everything they can to, okay, we about to pay Charleston White, and we need to make sure you say this and put those videos out so they know. I'm telling y'all. Like
a first degree. Now, for you to just act like they did it because he's white and all that, because he's a black kid and all this. Frisco, Texas ain't just white people. Frisco is now way more diverse than it ever was, at least back when we used to live in Frisco and Plano. So a lot of black people live in Frisco and Plano. That's how Karmelo Anthony's family is there. So it's not, obviously not predominantly black. It's not overwhelmingly black. But there's a lot of black people that do live there. There's a lot of people of other races that do live there. There's a lot of black people that play on these football teams. There's a lot of black people that go to these schools to play other sports. Yeah. So it's not just all white people and there's one sole black person that's looking around like, I'm the only here. That only occurs in Brownwood or Stephenville, Texas, or somewhere in the middle of nowhere. But when you go to these major metropolitan areas where you have Plano, Frisco, you have Prosper, you have, North Dallas, you have all these different areas, there's people that go to these schools.
That doesn't fit the narrative, though. Everything he's saying is right. Everything they're both saying is right, but it doesn't fit the narrative that people want to push because it's true. Truth doesn't fit the narrative in today's world.
Ethnicities and diversity, or ethnicities, and it's pretty diverse. There's a lot of black successful people that live in Dallas, North Dallas. Come on, why would Charleston say that? He's from Fort Worth, where I'm from. But anyway, y'all let me know what you think, man.
Because he got paid. I keep on telling y'all that he got paid at the end of the day.
I agree.
When I had previously made a video bragging on how he had common sense. What a shame.
Exactly.
He had to have gotten paid because the shit he's saying don't even make sense.
Again, I feel like this is more so a money grab. They have that Dominic Alexander. He's looking at the simple fact, Charleston White, he can go out and he can make this video and make these videos and do this and do that. Getting paid, this will definitely help. This will definitely boost. They're thinking of every single thing to do to make Karmelo look like it was self-defense, that he's the great guy, that he was the victim, and it's absolutely sad.
Weapon at school at all. And in fact, it was just a common Boy Scout tool. Now, if that isn't ridiculous enough, leaked chat logs between Karmelo's father, Drew Anthony, and journalist Sarah Fields show that for someone who constantly claims that his family is being harassed, he sure does enjoy harassment.
This guy, I've seen one of his other videos too, Jumpsuit Pablo. He was in prison. I think he said like 15 years or something like that. Yeah.
Sarah Fields, I've spoken about her before. She's a journalist, primarily posting on X.com. She's the one bringing all the major updates and information and records about Karmelo Anthony, the case, and everything else. So she has gotten tons of messages from Carmelo's dad, Drew Anthony, and it's clear he is unhinged. Okay, let's pop one on the screen. Here you see, my son defended himself. Maybe if you was a parent and your child would have defended their self, she might not have been
Wow.
awful.
What?
Awful.
What? Who says something like that? My son defended himself. Maybe if you as a parent and your child would have defended their self, she might not have been molested. Chat. What the hell? What the hell? Who says something like that?
Like, what kind of comparison is that?
Like, she didn't even have anything to do with this. She's just reporting. Wow.
By the way, the little girl was 6. Maybe if your child would have defended their self, you mean the 6-year-old little girl? Would you want her to throw a right hook and an uppercut and then do a judo hip toss? I mean, what are you talking about? What a stupid, ridiculous, insensitive, awful thing to say. Okay. And then he goes on to say, I never said anything to anyone about the lies you spread. You're the one with the half truths, not us. You scared of Tiffany because she must have had the truth, lol. You lucky I don't know her. So Sarah responds, Tiffany has nothing but an evil agenda. I don't even know who Tiffany is. My daughter was 6, what you had to do to survive. You don't need to take accountability. You don't need to own up to anything. You take accountability for your mistakes. You take accountability. You own up to what you've done wrong, to crimes. So I'm glad you know that he's guilty. I'm glad you just admitted that. And I hope they use this in court. People like you twist his words, take things out of context, and start spouting ignorant stuff, claiming he's being cocky or something. You know, he goes on, but this one's very interesting too. Please stop speaking on me and my family. You playing victim, but you go and keep speaking on me and my family in danger. Because she's an investigative journalist, it's her job. She gets the facts and the reports and puts them out there to the public. Do with it what you will. Now you're mad because this stuff exists.
Stalking her?
Because fact.
Stop now while you out having drinks with Jeff. That's like a passive aggressive, I know where you're at, I can see you, I'll hurt you. And then he follows it with, that's my last time warning you.
Facts exist, so you're mad. You have nothing to do with me and my family. It seems as if you're hunting us down to keep putting me and my family in jeopardy. Stop now while you're out having drinks with Jeff. Stop harassing us. That's my last time warning you. Well, if that's your last time warning her, what happens next? Because, this was June 23rd. Clearly, she hasn't stopped. As of today, she's put out a new update. So now what? Now what? And Sarah, by the way, is very scared of him. She said that it's getting crazy. It's getting worse. This is just as of yesterday. She said it's getting very bad. She has to find a lawyer. It's getting out of control on his end towards her. This guy just seems unhinged through his messages. I don't know.
And then you had that fool Charleston White threatening her. Well, not really threatening her, but calling her out and saying she's a crazy bitch and need to quit doing this, quit doing that.
No, what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. But very interesting stuff. By the way, got these messages from AG Tactical, the YouTube channel. Always want to give credit where it's due. He got these messages from Sarah directly. So shout out to AG Tactical, and you can see his video on his channel. He does good stuff too.